What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be ranking every 2024 LEGO Star Wars set from worst to first, though I won't be including any of the polybags released last year. And just very quickly, if you enjoy LEGO content, I kindly ask you subscribe to the channel. It's totally free to do and it really does help me on my journey. Okay, so let's get into it. In at last place, and what is in my opinion the worst LEGO Star Wars set released in 2024, it has to be the set 75384, the Crimson Firehawk. This set was an absolute abomination and had to be one of the worst selling LEGO Star Wars sets of last year. Just about every retailer had this on clearance for months on end, and even at 50% off it didn't sell, which really does say a lot. This set retailed for $50 and only came with 137 pieces, so it had a lower piece count than your average $20 battle pack, giving it a price per piece ratio of 36 cents per piece. That really is one of the worst price per piece ratios I've ever seen. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say. In at 29th place is set 75392, the Creative Play Droid Builder. Another terrible set, the astromech droids look awful, and the idea of adding comical items of clothing is just a really odd concept. The only redeeming thing about this LEGO set is that it came with a 25th anniversary Young Leia minifigure, but even that minifigure was a little bit controversial considering all the other Star Wars characters that we could have had and have yet to be made in minifigure form. Overall, this is just a really bad set that absolutely no one asked for. At 28th place is set 75380, the Mos Espa Pod Race diorama. And as the boys over at ACOB say, no figgy, no buy. The fact that this diorama came with no minifigures really does go against it. It's rather expensive, retailing for $80, and it just looks so bland compared to other dioramas in that kind of price range. It's not an absolutely awful set, but compared to other Star Wars sets of 2024, this is absolutely nowhere near up to scratch. At 27th place is the 2024 LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. This was a pretty solid advent calendar compared to most other recent advent calendars. The thing that does hold it back is the Christmas themed characters aren't that great, which is arguably why you'd want to buy this. But other than the Christmas themed minifigures, you'd actually get some cool characters in this set, such as a 501st Clone Trooper, a Praetorian Guard, a Super Battle Droid, and a really cool Ahsoka minifigure. And the mini builds are some of the best we've ever had, including an awesome mini kit. This is a great reference to the LEGO Star Wars games, which is crazy nostalgic for me, as I loved playing them as a kid. So it was a really neat touch to see that added into this advent calendar. At 26th place is set 75376, the Midiscale Tantive 4. The set isn't bad in itself, but the Tantive 4 is hardly a cool looking ship, and not many people are exactly asking for this to be turned into a Midiscale ship. I mean, compared to some of the other spaceships in Star Wars, this is just really bland. This set has been heavily discounted for most of its lifespan due to lack of interest in this LEGO set, and to be honest, it's not hard to see why. At 25th place is set 75390, the X-Wing Mech. The mech is actually quite good. I mean, I don't really like the idea of mechs in the Star Wars theme. I'd prefer maybe some character packs instead of this, but the set isn't bad by any means. But the pilot Luke Skywalker minifigure is a little bit controversial. The Rex Microfighter was cheaper than this, yet came with the UCS Rex minifigure. However, this LEGO set didn't include the UCS version of Luke Skywalker in his pilot outfit. For that privilege you had to buy the mech as well as the Luke pilot keychain and swap over the arms and legs. LEGO knew exactly what they were doing with this one, making you spend another $5 to get that awesome UCS version of Luke Skywalker. Why they couldn't have just included the UCS X-Wing Luke Skywalker in this set really does boggle the mind. At 24th place is the TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup. I don't like the idea of the set, that being that you can swap over the different wings onto each of the builds, but I do understand that that is kind of the point as it's based off the Rebuild the Galaxy series. Strangely though, I actually do quite like the builds. The 2 iconic ships and the 5 minifigures, 4 of which are unique to this set, is enough to definitely get a few people on board with this set. I understand the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter are scaled down a lot, but I still think they look pretty good, and LEGO didn't have to compromise on any of the vital elements that make these 2 Star Wars ships so iconic. So yeah, if you can pick this one up on a discount, I think you're in for a winner here. Next up is the Onyx Cinder, based off the highly rated Skeleton Crew series. The ship looks okay and comes with some great minifigures, all of which are unique to this set. There's enough room on the interior to fit all your minifigures, but the cockpit is rather tiny and that is a shame. It's also not going to look great on display compared to most other Playscale Star Wars sets. Next up is set 40730, the Luke Skywalker lightsaber. This was a free gift with purchase that you received if you bought the UCS Jabbas sail barge within the first few days, though it did sell out almost immediately. I think this looks really good on display. It comes with a really nice display plaque, but it isn't really to scale with some of the previous gift with purchase sabers that we've had in the past. But it was a pretty cool free gift with purchase nonetheless. In at 21st place is set 75378, the Bark Speeder Escape, which is based off a really cool scene from The Mandalorian Season 3 depicting Grogu's escape from Order 66 with the help of Keller and Beck. The set comes with 4 minifigures, a Bark Speeder with sidecar, and even a lamp, which is technically part of the Jedi Temple, so you can kind of say that this is the first Jedi Temple set we've had. But jokes aside, I actually do quite like this set. It feels almost like one of the old school cheap play sets, though this wasn't exactly too cheap as it cost you $30. I really do like the Keller and Beck minifigure. The printing on the Jedi robes is really good. Overall, it's just a really neat little play set. At 20th place is the Midiscale Invisible Hand, General Grievous's flagship, and it still looks really epic even in a smaller format. It comes with that nice 25th anniversary display plaque, and the set looks really good on display. This is definitely one to pick up if you're a Clone Wars era fan. At 19th place is the Imperial Dropship V Rebel Scout Speeder. The set is exclusive to the LEGO store and is special in quite a few ways. First off is a remake of the old Rebel Scout Speeder and Imperial Dropship. Those were 2 separate battle packs, but LEGO opted to have them both in one LEGO set rather than 2 separate sets. So you get the chance to build up 2 different factions each time you buy this set. Another thing that makes this set somewhat special is the 25th anniversary figure, that being the QT Katie, which is an astromech droid that pays homage to Katie Johnson, which was a little girl that suffered terribly with cancer. So that was a really nice touch from LEGO, adding that astromech droid into this set. The set is rather expensive though, costing $40 for 2 very small builds. In 18th place is Boarding the Tantive 4, a proper playset in every way. It has a great lineup of minifigures, including the rather common but really good Darth Vader minifigure, and then you also get the not so great 25th anniversary ARC Trooper 5's minifigure. Don't get me wrong, it was really cool to get that character, but the execution was just terrible. I mean, let's be real. And I love the fact that you can add more of these sets together to extend the Tantive 4's hallway. At 17th place is Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator. Now I'll start with the bad. The ship really does suffer from being scaled down so much. I mean, it looks rather pathetic to be honest. And then you have those pupilless eyes for Darth Maul, and damn, it looks so bad. The good side to this set is that Qui-Gon minifigure with the really cool cloth poncho, and then that 25th anniversary Saw Gerrera minifigure, which has an amazing chest piece and looks fantastic. One of my favourite figures of last year for sure. At 16th place is set 40686, the Trade Federation carrier. This was the top tier May 4th gift with purchase promo, which had people scrambling to get as many as possible. This set would have been so good as its own droid battle pack. It was such a simple layup and would have sold really well. It's a great set and probably the best droid carrier we've had thus far, and it even comes with the cool 25th anniversary display plaque. At 15th place is the UCS TIE Interceptor. It's already a really cool looking ship, and LEGO did a great job of turning it into an awesome head turning display piece. It looks so sharp, has tons of details you'd expect, and even comes with a TIE pilot with arm printing, which is unique to this set. LEGO did a really good job of making the cockpit as round as possible and tiling it off, so there's minimal studs on show, which really does make this set look even classier than it otherwise would have. At 14th place is the Jedi Bob Starfighter. Now this thing had been hyped up for so long before we saw official images of it, and boy did it live up to the hype. This is by far one of the best looking Jedi Starfighters we've ever had. Though admittedly it is rather expensive, retailing at $40, which is very steep. But that wasn't enough to stop a lot of fans buying this set for that coveted Jedi Bob minifigure, a character which has lived in our hearts since 2002. The other minifigures included though are quite rough. Had the set come with better minifigures alongside Jedi Bob, this set would have featured much higher on the list. At 13th place is the Imperial Star Destroyer set 75394. I think this LEGO set does suffer a bit from shrinkflation. The proportions just seem a bit off compared to older versions of the ship. but somehow it actually still looks quite good when you see it in person. The interior has minimal detailing due to lack of space, but there's enough room for all the minifigures in this set. But what most people bought this LEGO set for was the exclusive 25th anniversary Cal Kestis minifigure, which looks amazing and goes for a pretty penny on the aftermarket. At 12th place is the Ahsoka Tano Duel on Peridia, a rather expensive playset, but it does come with all exclusive minifigures. You get Ahsoka in her white robes with arm printing, you also get Ezra Bridger and his pupilless eyes, which don't look so good. You also get Morgan Elsbeth, a Night Trooper, and the long-awaited return of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he looks better than ever with those dual moulded legs which go perfectly for this character. The build looks a little bit ropey in my opinion and comes with far too many stickers for my liking. But overall this is a pretty good set with a great minifigure lineup. 11th place is set 75398, the buildable C-3PO. And this is meant to accompany the buildable R2-D2 and Chewbacca minifigures. And this is meant to accompany the buildable R2-D2 and buildable Chewbacca figures. When I first saw this, I thought it looked okay, but upon seeing it in store and taking a closer look, this thing just gets better every time you see it. LEGO managed to capture so much of 3PO's detailed model, it's crazy. The only weakness to this LEGO set are the pieces used for the eyes. I'm not too keen on them, to be honest, it just looks a little bit off. You do also get the most detailed 3PO minifigure with all the arm printing, all the leg printing, those dual moulded legs which look so good. If you can get this one on a discount, then this set is a must have for older fans of the franchise. At 10th place is the buildable Droideka set 75381. This is one of the cheaper buildable character models we've had thus far, coming in at $65, but even being one of the cheaper models, this thing looks so good. Any prequel fan will be desperate for this set, as it's just such a great depiction of the terrifying droid that made even Jedi run for cover. The build looks great and you also get that nice display plaque, though the Droideka minifigure which goes on the display stand looks really bad, and that does hold this set back a lot in my opinion. At 9th place is the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. Now this is a really solid entry. It has everything you'd want from a battle pack, 4 great minifigures and a really nice little build. You get 2 Mandalorian warriors in blue armour, but the highlight is easily the detailed Imperial Commandos which come with an all new exclusive helmet mould which looks fantastic. Again, it was another one of my favourite figures of 2024 for sure, and you get 2 in this $20 set. There's so much playability, even with the smaller landscape build, you can position one of the minifigures on the transparent piece to imitate them flying. It's a neat touch that we don't often see in cheap Star Wars sets nowadays, and as a battle pack, this LEGO set is near perfect. In at 8th place is the Captain Rex Y-Wing Microfighter. Unlike a lot of other LEGO YouTubers, I actually love this set. It gives us a really popular Star Wars character and a decent starship in microfighter form. The set though is rather controversial, as the Rex minifigure that was used in this set was originally said to be exclusive to the UCS Venator, so it seemed very scummy that only a few months later they decided to release him in a $12 LEGO set. I mean, it's good in the sense that if you couldn't afford the UCS Venator then you have this Rex minifigure, but it does suck if you bought the Venator expecting to have a rare exclusive minifigure. But that controversy aside, the Rex minifigure isn't terrible. It's not fantastic, but certainly not as bad as many make it out to be. This may actually be my favourite microfighter to date, and I hope we get many more like this. At 7th place is the Dark Falcon set 75389. Now this was a really refreshing take on the most iconic ship going. Millennium Falcons will always sell well due to it being the most recognisable ship in Star Wars, but this one is just so unique with that all black design. The minifigures were also fantastic, all of which are unique to this set, but the best of the bunch is easily that Redeemed Vader minifigure, clad in all white and with great leg and arm printing. The figure is arguably one of the best of last year's lineup. I also love how the LEGO designers even decided to add in a Darth Jar Jar minifigure as a reference to the old meme that Jar Jar was in fact the mastermind behind the Fall of the Republic. LEGO didn't actually stray too far from the design of the 2019 version of the Falcon, besides the colour difference, but to be honest that was all that was needed to make this set stand out as one of the best of 2024. At 6th place is set 75396, the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. A truly great playset, we get the best Sarlacc ever made, as well as the best Desert Skiff to date. Both of the builds are just so good. The Sarlacc Pit is also big enough to be able to fit Boba Fett in its mouth, which is a pretty fun feature. The figures are also pretty good, though it is a shame that LEGO reused the Empire Strikes Back Boba instead of his Return of the Jedi look. But you do, however, get a fantastic 9num 25th anniversary figure, which looks awesome. The only negative to this set is the price tag. It costs $80, which for a mid-sized playset seems far too expensive. Had it been a bit cheaper and a more fairer price, this could have been way higher up on the list. In at 5th place is the midi-scale Millennium Falcon. By far this was the best of the midi-scale ships we had released last year. It's actually a really decent size, feels very sturdy and has all the details on the exterior that you would expect. This thing also looks great on display, and the 2 display plaques make this look like a really high-end set. Again, the only negative going for this set is the price tag. $85 for a midi-scale ship is just far too much. Other than that though, this set is a must-have for Star Wars fans. In at 4th place is the buildable R2-D2 set 75379, and for $100 this thing looks amazing. In fact, this set is so good that most fans agree that it's actually better than the far more expensive counterpart that is over double the price of this one. So I have to give props to LEGO for making not just a better set, but also a far cheaper set that still looks great on display. And not only is the build phenomenal, but you also get a 25th anniversary Darth Malak minifigure, which is really cool to get a character like that in this set. The printing on the minifigure is great and comes with that cool jaw piece. Not only is this a pretty good value set, but this is just a great set overall. In at 3rd place is the UCS Jabbas Sail Barge set 75397. This is such a great recreation of Jabba's sail barge. Not only does it look great on the outside, such as the top deck, which looks great, plenty of room to position all the minifigures on, but the interior is also amazing. You have everything from a cockpit that's able to fit 2 pilots, you also get a full-on kitchen with lots of cool Easter eggs, and there's even a small prison cell for enemies of Jabba the Hutt. Not only does this look great on display, but it also kind of doubles as a great playset. The minifigure lineup is also pretty good, although I'm not too sure what happened with Princess Leia because that skirt print looks far more like basketball pants to me, but what do I know. In at 2nd place is set 75386, Paz Vizsla v Moff Gideon Battle. Now why I love this set is because I almost feel like it harkens back to that old era when the emphasis was on play features, cool locations and great minifigures, and this set has all of that in abundance. I really love the bunker build. It makes a nice change from constantly just getting spaceships. The bunker shield door can slam shut, and this build can even be added to the Ambush on Mandalore battle pack to expand the scene and make the set look even more dynamic. And don't get me started on those minifigures, they are absolutely fantastic. You get Paz Vizsla, which is slightly different but hasn't been changed too much from the older version, but man does he still look so good. That chest piece is just fantastic. You also get 2 Praetorian Guards, and that's maybe my one nitpick for this LEGO set. It probably should have come with 3 Praetorian Guards, just like as was seen in the episode of which this set is based off. And then by far the best thing about this set is the Moff Gideon in his black Mandalorian armour with those accents of red. It is just so good. For me, it's probably my favourite minifigure of 2024. I mean, that helmet is just perfection. Overall, this is such an amazing LEGO set that you don't really have to break the bank for. So that moves us on to 1st place for my favourite Star Wars set of 2024, and for me it had to be set 75372, the Clone V's Battle Droid Battle Pack. Now I know there are some that don't like this set, M&R, I'm looking at you, but I think this is one of the best LEGO Battle Packs ever, and for me it was easily the best Star Wars set of 2024. This thing is a clone army builder, it's a droid army builder, it's a great playset, and it's amazing value for money at its retail price of $30. The builds are decent. It comes with an Octopara droid, a Stap, a Bark Speeder, which I will admit does look a little bit rough, and also a clone turret. For the minifigures you get 3 regular Phase 2 clone troopers, as well as a shock trooper, and you also get 2 B1 battle droids and 3 all new updated super battle droids. I really do think this could very well be the last well-priced battle pack we ever get moving forward. And I really am dreading the day this one leaves shelves because it really did live up to the hype and is easily my favourite Star Wars set of 2024. Anyway guys, I'd love to know what was your favourite LEGO Star Wars set of 2024. Let me know down in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome LEGO content. Have a great day and I'll see you on the next one.